Welcome, welcome, welcome. Brett Hudson coming to you live from beautiful South Florida. And today is October 2nd. Yep, we're into the fall season coming here. I love this time of the year, going into Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year. So, man, the next 90 days is going to be super fun. Again, I live here in South Florida. I love to read from spiritual books Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern. This is a great place to plug into during your lunch hour, per se. Just to continue with the feeding of the Lord, right? You might have started on your knees with prayer this morning. This is a great way to keep that momentum going into the evening, right? So with that, what book are we reading? We're reading Joel Osteen's "Your Greater Is Coming." I love Joel Osteen. I've been following him for a couple of decades. He just exudes that fruit of the spirit, right? Love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, faithfulness, self-control, right? I don't think I've ever seen Joel Osteen lose control. He's always calm, collected, spot on with his message. It's always positive and upbeat. So drop a comment below. I'd love to know where you're from. If you've heard of Joel Osteen, if you've read this book, Your Greater Is Coming. A lot of great value. We're in chapter 10 right now. So if you want to catch the previous replays, you could jump in our Facebook group. It's a great community. People who love God. You know, if you're struggling with your purpose, your finances, your health, your marriage, great place to connect, right? You can't always be on top of that mountain. A lot of the times you're in that valley, and, that's where the blessing is happening, right? Or the lesson, depending on how you look at it. Know this, every time you're in the valley, though, when you come out, God always gives you an upgrade, right? A provision. You always come out better than when you went into that valley. So the Facebook group is abundancewithgodgroup.com, abundancewithgodgroup.com. Got a close to 400 members in there. Everybody loves on each other. When you're in that valley, it's great to have a community that can point you to scripture or even relate with you because maybe they've gone through that challenge themselves. So again, if you're struggling with your purpose, your finances, your health, your marriage, this is a great place to connect Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern. Again, I like to read from spiritual books Monday through Friday. Usually read for 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes, and then open it up to discuss the value we read. Hopefully you get some value from today's reading. If you want to follow along in the reading, you could go. We have a Zoom running as well. That's zoom.abundancewithgod.com. Zoom.abundancewithgod.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Random thoughts. I love it. Denise, welcome. Lexi, welcome. Julie, welcome, welcome. Instagrammers, YouTubers, welcome. Drop a comment below. I'd love to know where you guys are chiming in from. If you've heard of Joel Osteen, drop a comment. Let me know where you're from. The Facebook group is abundancewithgodgroup.com, where you can catch all the replays as well as the previous 9 chapters. We're in chapter 10. And before I jump into the reading, I always like to open it up with a verse from the Bible, right? The Bible. And welcome, Julie. Welcome, Matthew. Welcome, welcome. And so today's verse is Isaiah 7:14. Isaiah 7:14 says, "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son and will call him Emmanuel." That's Isaiah 7:14. "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son and will call him Emmanuel." I love it. So we're going to jump right into today's reading. I love today's title. Starts off with the right people, the right breaks, the right opportunities, right? And so 2 years after I wrote my first book, Your Best Life Now, a man was walking by Madison Square Garden in New York City. He was an executive in one of the largest publishing companies in the world. He saw my name up on the marquee and people lined up to get in. He'd never heard of me, but he went home, did some research, and he called my literary agent and said that he wanted to publish my next book. She said, "We already have a publisher and we're happy." He asked her if he could make an offer, and she said, "Sure." He offered at an amount more than I had ever dreamed. When she called me and told me, I nearly passed out. I said, "You do great work," she said. Actually, I didn't go to him. He came to me. I thought to myself, that was easy. That was God lining up the right people, having the man at the right place at the right time. If he had not left work late that night, he wouldn't have seen those people. If he had not taken the train home, he wouldn't have been in the area. If he hadn't been preoccupied thinking about something else, he could have passed by the arena thinking the line was for a ball game or a concert. All these things had to fall perfectly into place, right? Is it odd or is it God, right? I love that line. But so all these things had to fall perfectly into place. That was the hand of God making my life easier. God had the right people lined up for you. God has the right people lined up for you. He has the right breaks, the right opportunities. You may not have seen it yet, but if you keep honoring God and being your best, he's going to take you into overflow. You're not going to live pressured by bills, pressured by to make ends meet, pressured to send your children to college. God is going to do something unusual, unexpected, something you couldn't make happen. I know a single mom who was working hard, raising her children, trying to make ends meet, but every month she was barely able to pay her bills. She told me how she wanted to take a vacation, but every time she had saved extra money, something would break that had to be fixed. She was being her best, but she couldn't get ahead. It looked as though she would struggle her whole life. But when you keep doing the right thing, when you keep passing those tests, you're going to come into an anointing of ease. God is going to make things happen that will take the pressure off. He's going to lighten the load. One day, her supervisor unexpectedly took early retirement, and she was given her position. That came with a significant increase in salary. She was very grateful. Several years later, one of the vice presidents of this large company, who was her manager, suddenly resigned, and she was offered that position. Today, the single mom makes more than 10 times what she used to make when she started. She doesn't live under that constant pressure. She can take vacations whenever she wants. She supports other single parent families. She said, "Joel, I don't even know how it happened. Things just fell into place, and here I am." What she was really saying was, that was easy. That was God. That's what God is going to do for you. He's going to put you at the right place at the right time. He's going to open doors that no man can shut. He's going to cause people to want to be good to you. You may be struggling in some areas now, but don't get discouraged. That's not permanent. Ease is on the way. I talked with a young man who was finishing up his master's and had one final exam. It was the hardest class on his schedule. He was very stressed out over it, concerned that he wasn't going to pass. We prayed that God would give him wisdom and help him excel. He came back the next week so excited that he had passed the test. I said, "How was it?" He said, "It's funny. My classmates thought it was so difficult, but to me, it was much easier than expected. I knew the material. There weren't any surprises. The answers just came to mind." He did his part. He prepared. He studied. Then God stepped in and made it easier than expected. Quit thinking, "I'll never pass. I'll never get ahead. This is going to be so hard." Sometimes we expect to struggle. We expect it to be difficult. Turn it around and say, "Father, thank you for your anointing of ease. Thank you that you're causing me to succeed. Thank you that blessings are chasing me down." Some of the things you're dreading, the things that you don't see how they're going to work out, are not going to be what you think. God is going before you making your crooked places straight. You're going to say to him, as this man did, it was easier than I thought. Your cows are coming. In the book of 1 Samuel, the Philistines had defeated the Israelites in a battle. They also captured the Ark of the Covenant, which was the place of the presence of God in the midst of his people. The Israelites were distraught. When the elderly high priest Eli heard the news, he fell backward, broke his neck, and died. Eli's 2 sons were killed in that battle. One of his sons' wives was pregnant, and when she found out about his death, she went into labor and gave birth to the baby. She named her son Ichabod, saying, "The glory had departed from Israel." That was the last thing she said before she passed away. All of Israel was in mourning. They had not only lost the Ark of the Covenant, but 30,000 men had been killed in the battle. They didn't have a chance against the Philistines. It looked as though the ark was gone forever. The Philistines took the ark to their temple and placed it next to their god Dagon, a stone statue that they worship. In the middle of the night, Dagon fell over before the ark. They thought it was a coincidence, but Dagon back in his place and put Dagon back in his place. The next night he fell over again, but this time his head and hands were broken off. They realized their God couldn't stand in the presence of Israel's God. Then plagues began to break out among the Philistines, with people getting tumors and boils. The Philistines finally realized it was because of the Ark of the Covenant. They decided to move it to a different city, but the same boils and tumors started affecting those people. They panicked and said, "We have to get rid of the ark. We can't mess with the God of Israel." 7 months after the Philistines captured the Ark of the Covenant, they built a cart, put the ark on it, and hooked it up to 2 young cows. They loaded the cart up with gifts of gold statues, turned it loose, and let the cows go wherever they wanted. The cows started heading straight toward the Israelite border. In a few days, the Israelites saw the ark coming and couldn't believe their eyes. They never dreamed they would see it again, and they started celebrating. They not only got the ark back, but they didn't even have to fight for it. It came looking for them. If they had had one of those red buttons, they would have hit it and heard, "That was easy." During those 7 months, I'm sure the Israelites were making plans to attack, coming up with strategies to get the ark back. They had lost thousands of men, and they knew they would lose many more. They were worried and afraid, but when they saw the cows coming, all of a sudden their lives got much easier. They were so relieved. It's like some of the things you're worried about, trying to figure out how you're going to accomplish your dream, how you're going to get healthy again, how you're going to afford to send your children to college. You're trying to come up with plans and strategies, and that's good. We should do our part, but God is going to do for you what he did for them. He's going to have those things find you. You're not going to have to fight that battle. You're not going to have to go after them. Good breaks are going to come after you. The right people are going to search you out. What you're believing for is going to track you down. God is saying, get ready. The cows are coming. What belongs to you is headed your way. The contracts, the promotion, the healing, the spouse, the favor. God is going to make things happen you could never make happen on your own. Those cows could have stayed where they were grazing, and they could have gone in the opposite direction. But God controls the universe. God controls the cows. He knows how to get what's yours into your hands. People can't stop him. Bad breaks can't stop him. Cows can't stop him. And the enemies can't stop him. The Philistines took the ark, but they couldn't keep it. When they tried, it made them miserable. In the same way, nobody can keep what belongs to you. The enemy may take your health for a little while, but he can't keep it. It doesn't belong to him. You are God's property. God will make sure your health comes back. The enemies may distract your child and get him off course for a season, but he can't keep him there. Quit worrying. Quit losing sleep. He's coming back. The enemy may have taken your dreams temporarily, and you've had some bad breaks and disappointments. Stay encouraged. What has your name on it is going to come looking for you. You might see some cows show up this week. God is going to surprise you. What you thought would never work out was over and done. Suddenly, things are going to fall into place. You don't have to fight. You don't have to struggle. Just get up every morning and say, Father, thank you that my cows are coming. I love it. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and just read one more section. A season of ease. The prophet Isaiah told the Israelites that their swords will be turned into plowshares, their spears to pruning hooks. God was saying you're coming into a season when you're going to need your swords and your spears. You're not going to have to fight and struggle and try to make things happen. You're coming into a season of ease. Instead of a sword, you're going to need a plow to prepare the ground for the coming harvest. You can put your spears down. You're not going to have to attack and try to get back what belongs to you. God is fighting your battles. He's putting pressure on those who have what's yours. They're not going to be able to keep it. You need to get ready for your harvest. Not for a fight, not for a battle. Get ready for the breakthrough. Get ready for the healing. You're coming into an anointing of ease. I have a friend who struggled with a drug addiction for many years in high school. He got mixed up with the wrong crowd, and 20 years later, he was still addicted. He had gone through counseling and treatment with no success. It looked as though that was his lot in life. Like the Israelites, he was defeated. The addiction was much bigger, and there was nothing he could do about it. But a couple of years ago, I ran into him. After being addicted for 20 plus years, he was totally free. He looked better than he did in high school. His skin was clear and he had regained his weight. He had a smile. I asked him how he did it. I thought he must have gone to a special program, gotten some kind of intensive treatment. He said, "No, Joel, I didn't do anything. I can't really put my fingers on it. It was just as though something broke inside. I suddenly felt a strength that I had never felt before. What was that? His cows came finding him. God gave him the victory, and he didn't have to fight. It was easier than he thought. Freedom belongs to you. Wholeness belongs to you. Don't believe the lies that you're stuck, that you'll never get well, that it's too hard, that you've tried. This is a new day. That yoke of bondage is being broken, and you're getting a new yoke, a yoke of ease, a yoke of freedom, a yoke of victory. You're going to break habits that seem permanent. It's not going to happen by your might, by your power. It's going to happen because the Most High God breathes on your life. It may have been difficult in the past. You've tried and it didn't work out. Try again. You're in a new season. You're coming into a harvest. You can't put your sword down. You don't have to do it on your own strength. God is fighting that battle. Do your part and believe. Dare to declare, I am free, I am whole, I am victorious. As with this man, God is going to surprise you. What you couldn't make happen, what you tried to do for years, suddenly you're going to see turn around. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Hopefully you got some great value from today's reading. If you're just popping on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, or reading Joel Osteen, Your Better Is Coming. I just love Joel Osteen. Been following him for a couple of decades. He's always got a spot-on, positive message. I've never seen him do anything other than exude that fruit of the Spirit, right? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, right? Joel doesn't lose control. He's always even-keeled, spot-on with his messaging, and like I said, always upbeat and positive. Drop a comment below. I'd love to know what kind of value you got from today's reading. I'll just recap what we talked about. It started off with the title, The Right People, the Right Breaks, the Right Opportunities, right? All these things had to fall. All these things will fall perfectly into place. He's going to cause people to want to be good to you. Some of the things that you're dreading, the things that you don't see how they're going to work out, are not going to be what you think. they not only got the ark back, but they didn't even have to fight for it, right? He talked about that easy button, the ease of the yoke, right? What you're believing for is going to track you down. And yeah, so some great value in today's reading. Hopefully you guys got some, and so says you might see some cows show up this week, right? You gotta believe it, right? You gotta, what's the other choice, right? What's the other choice? Complain and remain, or praise and be raised, right? You have a choice. And you need to get ready for the harvest, not for a fight, not for a battle. Get ready for the harvest. So I love that. And we'll jump in tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, so we'll jump in tomorrow's title, The Rough Places Made Smooth. It's a great title. So we do this, I do this Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern, same bat channel, same bat cave. Welcome, Carrie. Hey, Katie, welcome, welcome. Melvin, welcome. Charles, welcome, welcome. I love to read from spiritual books. You can catch our replays. We're in chapter 10. You can catch the replays plus the other spiritual books I've read from in the past at our amazing group, which is abundancewithgodgroup.com, abundancewithgodgroup.com, because you can't always be on top of the mountain. Sometimes you're in that valley. That's where character is formed. That's where the lesson is being done or learned. And at the end of the day, God always gives you a provision, right? He always gives you an upgrade. So when you come out of that valley, it's going to be better than when you went in. Turn your test into your testimony, your mess into your message. Be a blessing, right? Be blessed to be a blessing to others. And that's what it's all about, right? God making our crooked places straight, taking us from glory to glory. All of heaven is attracted to Christ in me, right? All of heaven is attracted to Christ in you. As Christ is, so are you in this world, right? He just wants to form us more and more in his image, right? The fruit of the Spirit. And drop a comment below. I'd love to know if you've heard of Joel Osteen, if you got some great value, what that value was. If you're struggling, we can say a prayer over you. If you're struggling with your purpose, your finances, your health, your marriage, again, that Facebook group's a great place to connect. We got close to 400 members. That's abundancewithgodgroup.com. And I like to say each morning you have a choice, right? You have a choice each morning. You could take that psychopath. I've been down that path. That's a rough ride, taking your will back, never, just a bumpy road, right? Or you can take the spiritual path, right? Starting off on your knees and just thanking God in the morning just for that breath in your lungs, because a lot of people didn't wake up this morning, right? And, maybe plugging into a Zoom or a live stream like this at noontime, right? Just to keep that spirit alive and thriving, and then end the evening on your knees thanking God for another amazing, blessed day, right? And so with that, you guys all have a great day, unless you have other plans. Be blessed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, and bye for now.